Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kunda, the voice, the face behind your favorite D. A girl is back on YouTube 6 months later and 6 months earlier because I thought I was going to be back. No, not 6 months, please. I'm not about to do the math, but anyway, a girl is back. That's the point. And why have I been away? I basically had school and it was demanding. So yes, the point of this video is sharing my leaving Ukraine experience, my escape, finally getting out of Ukraine, the whole crazy of invasion happening while I'm still in Ukraine, and all of that gist. Anyway, it's finally here. I hope you guys, enjoy this video as I share my experience. To grab some coffee, some a snack to enjoy yourself and watch this video as I just share the whole journey. So let's get right into the video. So finally, I think I would like to give a backstory before the invasion actually happened. So like 2 weeks before the invasion, there was talk about how war is going to happen, and I'm just like, y'all really think that's gonna happen? I didn't think so. Okay, so after that 2 weeks, there's meetings of planning, like, okay, this is how we're going to leave if it happens, but we can't leave now. But then my parents were like, oh no, you should come back now. But then I'm in an examination year, so that was what was like very skeptical for me. And school was indefinitely online at that time, so it was like, I don't want to go home and get home and school is offline. What am I supposed to do with my life? So I was very skeptical about returning. So finally, the week when the invasion happened, so this was like on Monday, my school said, oh, you guys are free to go home. Uni is going to be online to the end of the semester. So now there was like clarity. I knew like, okay, there's no like surprise, school's offline kind of situation. So like, okay, that was Monday. Finally, I really wanted to come home because I hadn't been home for like 3 years. So it wasn't like I thought war was going to happen. It was just opportunity meets opportunity. Let me go home. So Monday, I finally told my parents like, oh, I'd like to come home next week Friday and all of that jazz. And I'm like, why Friday? Come sooner. Because for them it was like, nah, war is going to happen. You have to leave that place as soon as possible. For me, it's like next week Friday, so I can get ready, get everything I need, get you people's stuff, and just be ready for my journey. So finally Wednesday, I booked a flight for Monday the next week. Wednesday was the last normal day. Okay, so Wednesday afternoon, I booked my flight for Monday, and I tell a few people that I'll be leaving on Monday. Tell me why I wake up on Thursday. So I woke up on Thursday at 6 a.m. around 6 a.m. honestly, because it was like prayer time, and then also I needed to use the washroom. So after I use the washroom, there's just unusual message activity going on my phone. So I'm like, you know what? Let me just look at what's up. And I start talking to one of my friends, and in our conversation, she asked me, what are you doing awake? That question was very odd to me. So like, I woke up to pee and asked it back because I was like, why would you ask me why I'm awake? And she says, I think she said the war has started, or she hears it has started, something in those lines. And I laughed it off. I'm like, you're crazy. Until group chat started going crazy and the news is everywhere. I'm like, yo, this is for real. So this is like Thursday morning. I initially have 2 classes on Thursday. First period 9:15, second 11:30. I was already not having my 9:15 class, so it was like, okay, there's time to actually know what's up without worrying about preparing for class. So that day just goes crazy. Everything just spreads like wildfire. Initially, because I was traveling on Monday, that Thursday I was going to withdraw money in readiness to prepare to pay for my COVID test, to shop for my family. So initially I was going to withdraw money that day. So now it was like, I need to go withdraw money now. That was something I was going to do after class. So like, I need to do this right now. I finally go out there. The bank that I always go to is empty. There is no money in the ATM. I'm like, okay, cool, let me go to the next close bank. Like it's like 50 meters away. Let me go to the next best bank. And guys, I have never ever seen a queue like that at the bank. Not in my life. The queue was crazy because everyone is now trying to get money, and now it's like, guys, this is happening for real. I've never seen so many people not in city center, like basically in the suburbs, and there's like so many people are like with their 4 bottles of water trying to refill their drinking water, and there's me in my head. I'm like, Neil has 1 bottle, what am I going to do? It's like, okay, finally that bank, after I had stood in line for like some time, some of my friends came over trying to join the line, and was like, let's go to another bank. Like, okay, fine. Went to another bank and found it was shorter. Managed to withdraw money. So I was like, okay, since we are escaping the country, I need dollars, let me go and exchange. So usually the exchange rate was like 26, 27. Guys, I changed my dollar that day, I think at like 32, 30 something. It was like, this is actually happening. Like every step of the way was like, whoa, this is actually happening. You're seeing people with bags, people dragging their suitcases, people just look like they're going somewhere, and I was like, where are you people going? Because if white people are leaving, who are the owner of the country, why am I here? So finally from the bank I go to my friend's house, because now we're all just like, girl, what's up? We stayed there. I was there for some time. They announced like, oh, there's a curfew. So I was like, I can't stay here. I had to go back to my place just in case, like, okay, there's this curfew and it's like, oh, you can't leave your house. Let me be in my house with my clothes, with my food and stuff like that. So I finally went back to my place. As the day is going, that day was just like the longest day ever. I couldn't believe that was all that happened that day was one day. So finally later in the evening, my roommate starts packing, talking about how some people have left for Poland and she's going to leave tomorrow. Yo, said, please, I cannot remain here alone. I started to pack as well. But then, like I told my mom, like, oh, my roommate is packing, she's going to Poland tomorrow. She's like, follow her. I'm like, girl, I'm not going to follow someone whose final destination is not my final destination. I'm not trying to be stranded in all this confusion. So I packed anyway. Like, I was ready. My suitcase was ready to run. I don't know where we were running to, but I was ready to run. So finally the next day, I think that next day is when I heard the air alarm for the first time. So I heard the alarm. So the alarm basically means you have to go underground in basements because the alarm is going on. I don't know, that means there's danger, or I didn't even know all that gist. It's just like people post, oh, where are you? We're in the bunker. We're just like, okay, let me go. I went there just with myself, and I'm going there, everyone is with their suitcases. I'm like, wait, so are we supposed to be underground with our suitcases? Went back to my room and I got my suitcase, but then everyone who was there, I was the only Zambian in my hostel, so it's like, this is not making sense. I need to be with people who are going where I'm going. So I finally go and join my friends in the hostel because there were more Zambians there. It was just so much chaos. Someone is going somewhere, and it's just like, where are you people going? Because I just don't even believe that what is happening is happening. And then there's just so much happening around me, and it's like, okay, finally I go and join my friends. I'll insert some clips because we now started to vlog. Guys, welcome back to my channel. Okay, I'm Kunda, the voice, the face behind YFMD. Look, it's been long since I recorded the video as well, but I'm not recording that because we are in war, and
struggling, as you can see.
This is our evacuation video. This is just to share the actuality of being in a war zone and trying to get out. This is day 2 of war. We are very hopeful to leave today as soon as possible, but there's so many plans.
We don't know if we're gonna leave, but we're going to try, and we're hoping for the best. Yeah,
the best.
But really, me and Kunda want to leave right now.
We're ready to leave right now, but we have to wait for other people who we care about. But yeah, that's that. We've packed. We're very ready to leave. Yeah.
Your face, though. Your face, though. I mean, this is what I've seen.
Guys, look, I'm wearing a bonnet for now, but like when I arrive Zambia,
yeah,
I wear a wig because I cannot arrive Zambia looking like the problems I've just left behind me. But
I
yeah,
just try to fix my edges.
that's the
Oh,
update so far. When you see this video, it means we made it and we thank God.
as in.
You will see this video because we will make it. And I think I got there like at 10 a.m. Taxis were like scarce. So at this point, it was confirmed like, okay, Zambians go to the Polish border. There's someone to receive you on the other side. That was maybe 10, 11, 12 a.m. I think we finally got our taxi by 3 or 4. I was ready to leave yesterday, you know. But okay, finally taxi came because the demand was crazy. Like, it can tell you that your taxi will come in 12 minutes. Your taxi will be like 3 minutes away and cancel. Because the demand was just like wild. So we finally get in our taxi. There's 4 of us. We start our journey. I don't know how to act. Our driver is lovely. He's putting us in conversation. You're almost forgetting why you're in this taxi. We get to the road that should lead you to the Polish border. Now, because everyone is leaving, so not every vehicle in that line is a taxi. Some people, these are Ukrainians, and they're the cars that they're driving into Poland in. So there's only so far the driver can take you because it's a line to the border. The driver is not waiting to go to the border with you for 8 hours. So he drops us off very, very far from the border. Maybe like, guys, I don't know. People were saying 15 kilometers, 20 kilometers. It depends on where you're dropped off and all of that jazz. We start walking while there's all this vehicle traffic. We walked the walk. I was like from I think we left at 3 and we finally got to that line by like 5. I'll have to check the timestamps. I think it doesn't really matter anyway. So from like 5, we start our walking journey of these kilometers that everyone talked about and warned you about. So like, wear the right shoes, be warm, and all of this stuff, because some people had gone ahead the previous night, which was the day the war, the invasion began. So on our way there, we meet many people. They're telling us how they were not allowed to get in because they were not even giving the reason. So it was like, they're just not allowed to go in. They're not allowed. Everyone's just saying not allowed, like different nationalities. But then we had so much confidence because we told there's someone to receive us there. It was like, oh no, don't worry. We have other plans. Like, just don't worry about us because we have a plan. We are going through that border. Okay, the journey continues. So there was people who was ahead of us, there was people who was behind us. I was walking with one other girl and we thought, oh, since we had already met these people who were walking fast and were ahead of us, we're like, okay, now let's try and catch up to them. In us trying to catch up to them, we actually left them behind and didn't know that. So everyone, except the 2 of us, had stopped to eat. And then there's hungry us who were like 1-2 kilometers ahead of everyone, unsure of what to do next. Anyway, we wait. At this point, I'm so cold. Like, my hands were frozen. When my phone rings, I couldn't open my bag zip on my own because my hands were like my hands were not my hands. I didn't own my hands. I couldn't open my bag. I couldn't pick up my phone properly. So it was like, let me just avoid holding it because I could easily drop it. My hands were so frozen. I couldn't understand why I was the only one who was so cold. Anyway, we finally get to the first checkpoint. Did I even know that there's checkpoints before reaching the border? This was where the chaos now just began. We get to this checkpoint, and while we're walking there, the soldier just points his hand like that. And we see there's other black people, there were Zambians as well. And we all just had to sit there because, so we couldn't get through because this border is for vehicles. So like, for you to cross to get as far as the border, you have to be in a vehicle. And there's us walking. And it's like, what vehicle am I supposed to be in? I'm just a student here. Anyway, we went there and some girls befriend, I think he was a policeman or a local somebody there. They befriended someone, and this guy had to act like he's our friend and he knows us. He talked to the soldiers and they finally let us go. maybe almost an hour later, 30 to an hour later. Maybe it was longer, because honestly everything was just a blur to me. It was like, so we finally get through the first checkpoint. Let's get to the second checkpoint, and it's the same situation. You can't get past without a vehicle. The first one, there was like life around us. I was like, okay, now I was ready to lodge into a motel, a hotel, and rest my head and be warm. But everyone was like determined to continue the journey. So it's like, I can't remain alone. So we get to the second checkpoint, and there's like no life around us. There's no thinking of, okay, I can be lodged into this, I can be whatever. So we get to this checkpoint and we're told, oh no, there's a bus that's actually coming every hour, which does not make sense at all. For a bus to come every hour. Anyway, they said there's a bus coming every hour and it's gonna be picking people up and taking them to the border because you have to be in a vehicle. It's like, okay, fine, we wait. So 2 rounds of the bus, I'm like, maybe we have to move to the front to finally get into this bus. My friends and I squeezed to the front. We got to as front gets, and we were not picked to enter the bus. So now it's starting to feel like, okay, is it the color of my skin or what is it? But I think the whole gist was only mothers with children, mothers and their children could go first. But then with that logic, we've left miles and miles of traffic behind us. So a vehicle is coming every moment. People are being dropped off every moment, which means a mother and child will be there every moment. We waited for hours and hours, slept on the road. At this point, my hip joint was, I don't know, inflamed or whatever happened from all the walking. I was in so much pain. I couldn't like walk normally. I just had to lie down. Okay, so we slept on the road for like some time, maybe an hour is when I dozed off. Finally got up because my legs were just in so much pain. I literally fell. As soon as I stood up, I fell. My hands are as frozen gets. Before, I had tried to stop at a gas station to use the washroom. I couldn't even open the zip of my own trousers. I had to like melt my hands. It was so painful, guys. I've never been that cold. My hands have never been that cold too. Like my hands were stinging from the heat of trying to melt my hands. So I finally had my hands melted and I was able to unzip. So now by the time we were now on this road part at the second checkpoint, after being there for a long time, my hands are now like back to this frozen default setting. It's just mad. I can't do anything for myself. My hip is injured. I can't walk any longer. There's just so much frustration. I haven't slept. I haven't eaten. So remember, I came with 4 friends. 3 of us decided to go back. Guys, at the second checkpoint, we could literally see lights into Poland. Like, that's how close we were. But we just saw no hope. It was like, let's just go back home. Why are we freezing, hungry? And I was not having it. Like, I was so cold. My pain, I was ready to give up. I was ready to be bombed at that point, honestly. So we walked back a little bit to a filling station because it was like, we're not going to walk all these kilometers. We walked, like, it's not even possible. Even if my leg was fine, the mental capacity of having pushed and endured all these 15 kilometers to get this far, only for me not to be allowed on the bus because I'm not a mother and a child. So like, let's go back home. We got to the filling station. As soon as we get to the filling station, 2 buses come by. Not like public buses, but like those buses that are used by taxi companies like Uber and stuff like that. That type of bus comes, and we asked for a ride. I was like, okay, fine. They give us a ride. We get back to Lviv. At this point, I turned on my data, responded to my dad. He's like, oh, what's up by the second checkpoint? I explained, oh, no progress. I'm going back to Lviv because your girl is not feeling good. When he first read the message, I don't think he got what I said, because the way he responded, and when he finally got it, chaos. So finally, okay, I responded. I was like, okay, everything is cool. We finally get to Lviv. Taxis, it's just impossible to get a taxi. A bus comes. Gladly, we were dropped off on a path where a bus that goes in our direction could stop. So we get to this bus. We finally get to my friend's house, and at this point, it's like my parents have clocked what I actually said. Like, what do you mean you've gone back to Lviv? Said, I've gone back home, I'm in bed, like I'm in so much pain, I was very cold, I couldn't stay there any longer, and now my phone is ringing like every second. You know how people have panic attacks? At this point I'm having a cry attack. Like when my phone rings, it just made me cry hysterically, being asked so many questions. Why would you go back? Why would you do this? In my mind was like, there's 2 people who I left here, like so many people who I left here yesterday, who have because we've seen how everything has gone this side, we're obviously not going to take the same route and we'll take something else. So I came back so I could choose a route that doesn't require me to walk the way I walked and be in all that chaos. But no one was trying to understand that. I was just so stressed, guys. I didn't even get to sleep because of how my leg was. I literally tried to take off my jeans. I couldn't bend my knee to like take off my jeans properly. I had to do like, my leg is like there's a cast in my leg, on my leg. Finally, trying to rest. My phone is ringing every 2 seconds. My parents asking me why I'm back. The internet is bad. So now it says like, I can't hear you. Amidst all the madness. I'm like, you know what? The people I'm with, their parents are not traveling them, so they can sleep properly. I can't. I dress up and go join the other guys so that we could live together. So at this point I had taken a painkiller and my leg actually did feel better. Quick, to say the least actually. So my leg did feel better and everything was now fine. So I was ready to embark on the journey again. I have not slept, guys. I have not eaten. I have not had my bath and I'm ready to start the journey again. I go join these other guys because they're like, okay, we're going to a train station because trains are currently free and they're going to Poland. So there's either you can get on a train or you can get on the bus. They were very skeptical on the bus. I thought like, I want to get on the bus, but I'm glad we didn't get on the bus anyway. So okay, finally we go to the train station. I'm unbathed, I am hungry, I am tired. We got to the train station maybe by 12, 13, yeah. Hey guys, so it's round 2. Your girl ran away from the border. I ran away from the border this morning because I was exhausted, I was injured and I just wasn't having it. Anyway, round 2, we are on our way to the Vauxhall. This time I'm not in a bonnet, I'm wearing a wig which is not properly which is not properly put, but I'm so tired. I've not slept. But yeah, depending on how this vlog goes, I'll probably just give you guys a proper story time and insert these little clips of the events that are happening. You know what I'm saying? And a train came, I think maybe by like 3. So a train finally comes and it was meant to go to Poland, but it didn't. Everyone who's on it gets off and they announced that trains to Poland have stopped, and it's like, what are we going to do now? But then this is like 3 p.m. and my friends are like, oh, let's go back home, maybe we could have a better plan tomorrow. I'm like, no way. I started my journey yesterday. Again, I've embarked on another journey. There's no way I'm going back. I'm leaving this country today. Like, whatever happens, I'm leaving today. I was determined. I told them, no guys, it's too early. Even if we're going to give up, I'm not going to give up at 3 p.m. There's so much daytime left. Like, okay, let's stay here. While we're in the train station, not on the platform, while we're in the train station, they announced a train that has just come and will be leaving soon. But then it was like, so let's say the way I was in, what example can I give? Let's say you're in Lusaka and they announced a train going to Kinshasa, but then it's like, where's Kinshasa? So we finally now Google the city that they're talking about and we see that it's in Poland. That was the run for our life. I said, guys, we're going to the platform, we are making it on this train, whatever happens. Run to the platform. I finally squeezed my way to the front. Guys, the crowd that was there, on God, that I made it to that front, because no way. Finally, I'm in the front. One woman behind is angry, trying to push me away because she feels women with children, because that was it. Like, I understand that whole women with children, but I'm a woman. Yes, I don't have a child, but it was like women and children. So it was not necessarily like you have to have a child. It was be a woman with a child. Be a child, basically. So like, I'm a woman, I'm getting on this train, whatever happens. I make it to the front. People are pushing, squeezing. I'm holding on to my wig. I'm making it. I finally get onto this train with my friend. I was with my friends, so I was the first person to get on the train. When they saw me got on the train, they said, no way, we're getting on this train too. They squeezed their way to the front. We're finally on the train, and it's like, oh my god, thank you. Because being on the train meant you don't like physically stop at the border, be in line with your documents. All of that just was not going to happen. You easily go straight into, let's say you're going to Lusaka, Kinshasa. You get into Kinshasa, which means you've already crossed the border, right? So we're going into another city. The train finally started. The journey was a 2-hour journey. Like, the journey should be a 2-hour journey is what I mean. Get on the train. An hour into the trip, the train stops. And I was like, oh my gosh. Also note that the train was full to capacity, so women with children were priority, which I understand. So they had the seats. So I'm standing. My friends in the beginning I think had seats, but I'm standing all the way, and I'm just there like, oh my gosh, it's just 2 hours, you know, standing for 2 hours squeezed. It's not so much of a big deal. Little did I know. That train stop was long. It was long. It was just like, are we ever going to move? At this point, I'm just like, oh my god, not again. We waited on the train for hours. They said something like, oh, the train that had gone before us had many people, so they're still at the border, like checking their documents, so we can't like proceed because where are we going? Anyway, that stop is over and we start to move, and it's like, finally. Shortly we stop again, and this stop is overnight, you guys. Literally overnight. I think it was like until the next day, maybe 10 a.m 11 a.m that we finally moved. So note that I left Lviv like at 5 p.m. and this journey was going to be like a 2-hour 30 journey, and it's the next day 10 to 11 a.m. and I'm just losing my mind at this point because I've been standing the whole way. So now, because it's now like 10 p.m, this is now like Sunday, and I started my journey on Friday. I have not bathed, I have not eaten, I have not slept, and I am standing, guys. That night I slept standing, basically. Like, my sleep was so strong I could actually sleep standing because there's nothing I could do. My body was tired. Anyway, by the next day, that 10-11, they get our documents, they stamp them, and we finally start to move, and it's like, thank god. And then at this point, of course, people have come back on the train. As much as we are standing, but people are sitting. You can't, even if we tried to like stand in the same spot you were before, some people will come from a different platform and come and join you and just cause confusion. So one woman who had joined us, I think I don't know, maybe she had been in that wagon before, but she was not standing where we were standing. We knew ourselves who were there. She can't stand in this place, and we are backing each other. So her back is here and my back is to her back. And of course the train is moving. We're bound to hit into each other because the train is full to capacity. I can't even move, and now she's angry that we are touching each other. She starts to push me. At this point, I'm angry. So like, it's that, you know, like people are about to fight, you push your friend and your friend pushes you. That's what started to happen. Now we're having a back and forth. She pushes me, I push her too, because I'm like, at this point, I'm sorry, don't think because you're, I'm sorry, this race card, but like, don't think because you're white you can do whatever you want to do. And she was actually wrong. Other Ukrainians started to tell me like, just leave her alone, like just move away, because she was really just doing the most. Nothing had happened that was wrong there. While we're standing here, I'm with this other girl who I had met, who was coming from Kiev. I don't remember her name. Her name was Precious. Yes, I'm with this girl from Kiev, and they're telling, people behind us are telling us to move in front, move in front. Now they're shouting in Ukrainian, and the people who are also on this other side, they're telling us to move this way. At this point, we're just so angry. We're all shouting. She shouts something in Ukrainian, I'm shouting something in Ukrainian. We're so angry. We hugged each other and just started to cry and comfort each other because it's just like, we'll make it. We'll actually be out of all of this. Like, they'll be insulting you. Also, I forgot to mention, when we made our first stop, they lied to us that foreigners should get off the train because another train is coming for foreigners. So it made us get our luggage off the top, and now our luggage was on the ground, and now they're angry that why is your luggage on the ground and not on top when the space has been occupied. And then there's so much anger, honestly. There was so much anger. People insulting, people pushing each other, people just causing so much commotion. Anyway, so we hugged each other and started to cry, comforted each other, like, oh my gosh, we're going to make it. Like, we're literally holding on to each other, so that if the train moves to one side, she's leaning on a chair and I won't fall. If it stops like this, she won't fall either. So we're each other's support. Like, oh my gosh, we're each other's support, comforted each other. We're finally in Poland at this point, and we had to get off wagon by wagon. We're in the 6th wagon. At this point, I'm just so tired. It was like 1 p.m. and we left the previous day like 5, and my journey started on Friday after walking those kilometers and everything, all of that jazz. Finally, we get there 1 p.m. and because they're doing wagon by wagon, when the train stops, like in Ukraine, buses and trains are, like, Ukraine is very cold, so the windows are not very wide and easy to open because most of the time it's cold, so there's only so much space the window can open, and the wind was only blowing when the train is moving. So when it's not moving, you could suffocate. That's how I felt at this point. I'm just like, I was ready. I've reached, but like, I'm ready to collapse and just no more. Anyway, I make it finally out of the train. The way we were welcomed in Poland was like a moment to forget everything that had happened behind us. That literally giving us new fleeces, they gave us food to eat, drinks, water, clothes. They gave us every single thing. Being on the other side was just like, wow. Because all of that commotion we're experiencing was with Ukrainians. I wouldn't say everything that had happened or the chaos was race related, but of course some things were race related. Some things was just looking out for your own man first. It's their country and they'll put themselves first. We would put ourselves first in our own country. So of course not everything was like racial, but in that moment everyone is heated, everyone is running for their lives. So I just felt like I'm not about to play this color skin card on me. Finally, okay, we're in Poland, they're giving us all the good stuff, and it's like, you know, where you're at the border, you're at customs place, and you don't even mind staying there because there's just so much comfort, so much care. Everyone is being treated equally. It's not like, oh, Ukrainians first or children first. Everyone has an opportunity to have food, water, drinks, soups, fleeces, gloves, clothes. Like, it was just wow. And everything was moving so fast. Like, I loved the Polish side. Anyway, we finally get out of that train station. Our documents are stamped, and at this point I'm waiting for my friend Monica to come and pick me up. Yeah, she wants to pick me up. We finally drive to her town, and life goes on. And it was all of finally out, all those from Friday to Sunday, finally getting to a house, lying down in a bed, being able to eat, having a bath was like, wow. It was until I took off my shoes in that moment that I realized, like, wait, I've been wearing shoes from Friday to Sunday. It was until I took off my shoes and went to have my bath that I realized how much pain was in my legs, my feet actually. It was all just so much relief. And yeah, the next few days basically went by trying to spread awareness of borders, like, okay, if someone had it easier this way, people go this way and stuff like that. Because like, as much as when people find out this border is easy, everyone is going there, and now things seem more difficult. So it's like, okay, when someone finds a different border where things are smoother for them, yeah, sharing all this information. And yeah, that was the run for my life. I came from Ukraine with absolutely nothing but my life and my laptop, of course. I carried a few clothes. I literally came with nothing because I was running for my life, and it's now that I'm settled and I think, and I'm like, wait, I could have packed that. Like, I actually had space for that, but like in the moment of running for my life, it was all about survival. You're not thinking about where you're going to arrive. It's just, okay, I'm able to wear gloves when I'm walking on the street. I have toilet paper if I need to use the washroom, type of thing. It was all survival mode, and now that I'm home, I'm like, I could have carried that. I really like that. I could have carried it, and I was like, oh, I don't have clothes, I don't have anything. But life is Gucci now. Everything is fine. So in my next video, I'll give you guys the whole gist on finally being in Poland, my few days in Poland, life after escaping, being in Zambia, and all of that gist. So you people who are in my DM trying to get this gist out of me is finally here, and we're thanking God for life, thanking God for everything. In the moment, it felt like there was not so much to be thankful for. Anyway, we made it. So yeah, that's basically the whole gist of my journey out of Ukraine, everything that happened. I don't know if I've forgotten some things, but that's like the main events. And so thank you so much, guys, for tuning into my video. This is my back to YouTube. I don't know yet how often I'll be uploading videos, because it was like all my content creation plan for when my YouTube break is done was centered in Ukraine. So now not being in Ukraine is like I need another plan, and it's like, oh, what can I do? What can I actually record? So I don't know how often I get videos. I'm trying to put up a plan on what I'd like to share with you guys. I would like to hear what you'd like to see from me, what Zambian content you'd like to see from me, even sit down videos. I've actually been trying to vlog since I got back. I have like 3 failed vlogs right now, and it's like, that's wasted content. But we're living, and we thank God. So guys, if you're not subscribed, be sure to subscribe and share this video with someone out there. Yeah, let's subscribe and get to 1K. I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.